Yo, I'm tired. All right, yo, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's late at night, and by late, I only mean it's like 10:30, right? It's 10:30, Friday night, and man, our kids just love to party. I'll tell you that much. PJ went down pretty quick. Relatively, she went down quick once she was tired, but she wasn't tired for a while. Mikey, man, we were just talking about it, me and the missus, the old lady, and she's like, he's a night owl just like her. It's not me. It's not me. I do not get it. It's not me. All right. So I'm adjusting things here. So tonight, this will be on the YouTube channel posted. I think I might post it this weekend or Monday. I don't know when this is really actually, this will be up. But I wanted to do a follow-up episode to the episode that just posted this week on Tuesday, the 18th, right? And then talk about a few other things that have kind of come across my path that kind of tie in a little bit, somewhat-ish, with Tuesday's episode. Not necessarily Navy work related, but just in like the teaching, right? Teaching the youth. I need to adjust this a little bit, I think. Teaching the youth how things work, right? And when I say youth, Tuesday's episode, that youth was youth of the Navy. And in other instances, sometimes it's the youth, our own kids, right? So I got me a little list this time. I'll be going off this list. Trying to it's in no order. Sometimes I just make on the little Apple Notes, I just be like hitting buttons and doing things, typing out like talk about this, and it's no particular order. It might not make any damn sense, but whatever. So like we was kicking it with the young sailors, teaching them a few things, right? Learning them up, saying, hey, this is how this game works, this and that. And oftentimes, if you're a parent out there and you're senior in the Navy, you look at a lot of these kids, right? Sentence enhancers for those not watching, as children, right? Not necessarily your own children, but like children that you're looking after, and you're trying to teach them and raise them up. And when you're doing that the same way, maybe as you're doing your own kids, except they're adults, so there's like quicker, harder lessons you could teach them real fast, right? Because they speak. Right? To a certain degree, their maturity level is they're not at your kids' maturity level, right? They're 18, 19, 20, 25, whatever. So, for the males, still developing, brain stuff. Females, maybe a little bit quicker, whatever. But your kids in the teenage years, like everything's developing, right? Like mentals, physicals, everything is happening at once. It's crazy. We've all been there. We all thought we knew what the fuck was up. And then, 15, 20 years later, we realized that we're all just little shitheads. Just like, kids will 15, 20 years from now. Hopefully. Maybe. If they're not in the metaverse. But, so, let me. So as I was like pondering that stuff, I was like, all right, so we taught these sailors some things, right? Kind of how to navigate some things, how to work some things. As Nick was saying, how to finesse some things, right? Some of it was standard, like, military bearing stuff that you learn in boot camp. Other stuff was like, hey, this is, you take that military bearing and kind of shine it up, gloss it up a little bit, and you turn it into this, and now it's a weapon, right? That's a weapon tool that you can use to get into the best situation for yourself, right? So what we did there, right? As I was thinking about, I was like, I was talking to one of the sailors, and he's like, they started seeing results as soon as they started using some parts of it or whatever, right? So then it got me thinking, like, well, what is that? What does that mean? And then, like, how do we do that with our own kids? I'm not talking about, like, me and Nikki. I'm just talking about, like, in general, right? And so I wrote down, implementation of guidance is a must. So with anything, right? This might be like the, take a horse to water, can't force them kind of deal. But like that, we could teach and we can guide and be like, yo, here's the game, here's this, here's some knowledge, here's some wisdom. Put whatever word you want on it. But if you don't take that and immediately start trying to use it to your advantage, because that's why it was given to you, right? So you can take advantage of it, then what good is it, right? And maybe it's not a right away thing, right? But maybe you need to take that guidance and you need to put it in your pocket. And you be like, hey, all right, that's there. I know I have that. I don't know when I'm going to use it, but I know I have it, right? I got it. It's a tool. I just maybe I don't know how to use it. Maybe the adult, the older adult, the more senior, the more experienced person, maybe they gave me this guidance, but maybe I feel like they didn't actually like maybe exactly tell me how to implement it or in which scenarios to implement it, but then maybe which scenarios not to implement. Maybe this is like a use twice kind of tool and then it's broken or self-destructs on third use. You know what I mean? So we got to be sure we're doing that also as parents, as leaders. Hate using that one. Sorry. Mentors, I prefer, right? But that we do that checkup and be like, hey, that the stuff we gave you, have you tried any of it out? Right? Same thing with our kids. Hey, as I'm teaching my son this, hey, have you tried that out? As I'm teaching my daughter, did you do that? Did it work? Did it not work? Maybe for the instance, like with anyone, they're learning different and applying it different. And maybe they're like, yo, you know what? Actually, it kind of worked, but for me, I had to tweak it a little bit and do this and that with it, and now it works for me. But this is like a change I made to it, and then we can sit back and be like, oh, okay, so now I know if I got that type of person, right, that I can twist it, flip it, just like how this person I taught did. Now I can apply it to someone else even better, right? But again, like the implementation of that guidance, you have to go take that. You got to run with it. You got to put it into action, right? And then I say, this is. Let me see. Let me go down this list, y'all. Excuse me. And then I said, often we lose touch or don't engage with those around us that can make us better, right? So. And again, this is across any kind of area, right? It's not just military, like Navy, mentoring things, right? It's across any kind of area. It doesn't matter what kind of job field you're in. It doesn't matter if you're going, job to job, profession to profession, or whatever, right? Like sometimes you just be like, yo, that was cool. That was a good relationship while we had it, but I'm not working there anymore. I've moved on, and this that. And it's not necessarily you burning down bridges because everything was good. You just moved right across the other side of the river or lake or whatever, right? River. And you feel like since you moved on the other side of that river that you can't go back to the other spot where you had come from. Well, why is that? Why do we think like that? Is it because like on the other spot, like we weren't as good, we weren't as developed, that we left, since we're always like kind of chasing the next best thing, right? Whether it's job satisfaction, job pay, someone to learn from. I did not give me a water. Damn. We can't go back because we left that because we're better off. Well, why? Why? That's not true. It doesn't always hold true. Sometimes it may be true, but if there's a person there that you learn from, why can't you learn from them more? Have you completely tapped that well and it's dry and there's no more water to hydrate from? Or do you just think that because you've tapped other wells now, so you can't go back to that one that you started with? And it's a shame because this is, being military specific, that's something I've experienced for myself and not doing is as I've moved around, sometimes I'll just be like, well, I'm not there no more. I'm not there. I've moved on. So I need to I have a new circle. I need to make sure I'm good in that circle, and I don't need to conversate, keep in touch with the old circle because what they're going to provide. Now, some, we still have, here and there, but I think it's, I don't, blah, 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 blah. As you get senior in the military, you realize the benefits that keeping in touch provide, right? As a junior person, you may not see those benefits or realize those benefits. Also, nowadays with Facebook and all these other social medias, it's a bit easier to keep in touch with them, right? Or at least they're on your Facebook page and they're there for a quick holler if you might need something. But it's a well that you should go back and drink from regularly, right? It's kind of like, make sure that water's still good. If it isn't, get rid of it. If it is, though, like go back and hydrate. Talk about hydrate. Damn, making me cough more thinking about it. All right, and then I say, how do we embrace strangers? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Getting over a cold, too. No, it's not the C word. How do we embrace strangers, trust, and invest in that relationship? So that was like I was thinking, when I wrote that, I was thinking very specific, like with a junior sailor, senior sailor relationship. And you could get into all this like approachableness and this and that and all that. But like, you have to embrace that sailor. I'm so sorry. It's a cough. It's in here. It's in the deep, deep throat. Ugh. No, people. Stop it. You have to embrace that stranger and just give them the chance that they'll be able to teach you or teach you something, learn you something, guide you in the right way, that they're worth of some kind of value because they are where they're at. And you have to sometimes find that value. And sometimes that senior person doesn't know how to give juniors that value. So so the junior person has to find and tap in. And you might be thinking, well, that's shitty. It shouldn't be up to the junior person. Okay, whatever. Maybe it is shitty. I don't fucking know. Okay, that one scenario is shitty. Does that mean you just don't tap into it at all? Because there's going to be something there if you look and dig deep enough, right? There's going to be something there. If you're looking at it like, well, it's not right there clearly on the surface marked, so I'm not going to, then there's a problem there and you don't want to put the work in, right? For some reason, I feel like I'm using a lot of dig analogies. Wells, digging, surface. What else we got? All right. Learning from others' lessons prevents hardships, makes you better, further ahead of the game. All right, so that's a big one too, right? People often like experience is the best teacher. All right, that's all well and good, but that doesn't mean you have to experience it, right? Why not just listen to somebody else's experience, right? And take their word for it. It's kind of one of the, if I told you that the handle on the pan is hot, I just burned myself. And I even had the blister to prove it. Would you be like, I don't know. I don't know. I might need a, got my own burn. Oh, man, you were right. I believe you now. That's crazy. I have the evidence. I have the proof. I had the experience. I shared it with you. Why would you go do it? Now you just bandage up just like me, stupid. Right? Now you set back just like I was set back. Instead, what you could have done is just listened and be like, you know what? I'm going to take your word for it. Right? I'm going to wait. You said it's hot. I'm going to wait till it cools off. You told me 5 minutes. I'm going to give it 10. Right? Because I need to do my own thing anyway. So I can't listen to you all the way. But I'm going to listen to you saying that to let it cool off, give it 5 minutes. But I don't trust you enough, so I'm going to give it 10. But I trusted you a little bit to listen in the first place. And now I touch it and it's cool. Oh, shit, he was right. Thanks for you being the dumbass. Right? Thanks for you being the dumbass and teaching me. Now I don't have to be the dumbass. You get ahead of the game that way. So far ahead. Where other people, knuckleheads that don't want to listen, they're not going to listen and they're going to touch it. And you know what? Some of them touch that handle twice, 3 times. Don't matter. They're like, nah, it's got to be hot. I'm going to keep touching it. I'm going to keep touching it. Touch it. Touch it. It's still hot, stupid. Like it's the flame is still burning it. Like it's still on the fire and you're still touching it. Yo, listen. It's going to make you better. It's going to make you ahead of the game, right? And ahead of the game is where you want to be. Mentoring for everyone in the open. Okay. So this was a good one, right? Cuz I've been talking to different people about this. Or not about this specifically. I've talked to people about this. And that last episode I really loved doing. I really enjoyed it because I really enjoy mentoring junior sailors in our job as sailors in the Navy, right? As my role as the chief, mentoring I believe is like the most important. People would say it's leadership. I think mentoring is part of it. Whatever. Okay, I prefer to mentor. And you could dissect that into leadership and all that shit however much you want. Don't care. Mentoring is so important. Oftentimes, though, whether, again, military or out there in the job civilian force, we pick and choose who we're going to mentor, right? Based on a whole lot of things, as we've covered in these topics in previous episodes. Sometimes it's based on what people look like, right? And based on what people don't look like, right? Sometimes it's based solely on sharing the same job. And then every now and then there's the rarity where it's not based on anything. You mentor everyone that is within earshot, and sometimes opposite that is sometimes you only mentor the ones you pick at large scale and you invite over to the house, and you call it mentoring. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But it's for like a select few, right? It's only for the cool kids. Cool kids only. Cool kids only, right? And you might be, I know what you might be thinking. That's fine. But if you put it out in the open and make it available for everybody, right? Or you're providing the same level of mentor to everyone, then people can't question. But oftentimes, that's not what we're doing. Oftentimes, we are picking and choosing, and we're kicking, and not just picking and choosing the people, but picking and choosing the knowledge that we want to give to these people, right? Sometimes like, you know what? Well, I mean, I have to mentor them because, it's part of my job description. So I'm just going to tell them about this, right? I'm going to tell them the first 5 rules of the game. But I'm not going to tell them the next 100 rules of the game. I'm only going to reserve that for my buddy over here, right? My top performer, the next up, whatever shit, you know what I mean? So why can't you just mentor for everyone out in the clear wide open, right? Make it where it's not a secret. Make it where people aren't questioning, hey, why didn't I get to go to that dinner? Hey, why wasn't I invited to that backyard bash? Right? Why do I see these people going to that, but no one told me? Right? Now, if that's happening, you shouldn't want to go to those things anyways. All right? I'll tell you that. Just stay out of it. You don't want to go to those backyard bashes. Okay? Let's move on. Actually, I mean, that might be it, right? It's just a little follow-up episode to the last one. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of good stuff said. Nick crushed it. The guests were satisfied and happy with, I don't know if happy. I think they're more understanding than before, and enlightened on some of the things that were said. I said I got something in my throat. I think they appreciated it, right? And that's important, right? It's important, like when you're in that senior junior discussion and that senior junior level, right? Having those mentoring discussions that like the guidance, like I have just covered, like that, yeah, it gets implemented and all that. But the better feeling as the persons or people giving the guidance is that other person appreciates it and appreciates you for it, right? And now I didn't go ask them like, hey, I need you to verify this. Can you write that? No. You can just tell genuinely, right, that It was there, right? And that's something that we as chiefs in the Navy, at least, and probably even out there in the real world, right? In the real world, I mean, talking about this, civilianship and stuff, right? Is like you can tell how much your boss cares. Your boss, your leader, your manager, supervisor, whatever. Put whatever damn word you want on it. It doesn't matter, right? Your team lead, shift manager, whatever. You can tell how much they care, right? And if it's not genuine, the both sides of the equation there, right? You could have them talking to you till you're both blue in the face, and you could be like, "Yo, this motherfucker is fake as fuck, telling me this shit," and then you could go be like, "Oh man, I appreciate you so much," and that it could be taken to. You could be thinking that they're fake as fuck, right? They could be thinking you're receiving it all well. They could be thinking, oh man, they're receiving this so well. They appreciate me, and maybe that's my case too. I don't know. Shrug, don't care, right? Maybe a little. Don't hurt my feelings, but like, yo, younger and younger people can tell the fakeries a lot quicker and faster. I don't even know if it's that. Maybe it's just because we're older now. We can see it just as clearly as we did when we were younger, right? Real recognized real all the time, okay? And like Nick had pointed out in last podcast, like when you get to these other spots where we're at nowadays, as you grow up and you get into your 30s and you assume these jobs and these titles and these responsibilities of looking after, looking over, bossing around, supervising, managing others. If you was a bitch 20 years ago, you probably still a bitch now. Or a shithead, dickweed, fucker, asshole, whatever. Put whatever adjective you want on it. Lost my train of thought. So, yeah, that's just a quick follow-up episode of the last one. Like, this should be like a little bonus episode for y'all. Don't forget to check us out. This is up on the YouTube right now. Man, I'm thinking I had something else. We got some more episodes coming. I got like 3 or 4 episodes lined up for y'all. I think this is it. I think we're just gonna take us out from here. Just a little follow-up. Don't forget to implement the shit. Implement the guidance. Trust those strangers to lead you, to mentor you, right? Don't give up those relationships. Keep them going, right? For the military folk, for the civilian folk, no matter what job you go to and you switch around and move, keep those people in your pocket, right? You might need to go back to it. And learn from other people's experiences, right? And when you're mentoring and you're teaching, do it open, do it publicly, right? Make it available for everyone. Don't be picky. Don't choose the person you're going to give the knowledge to, and don't choose the knowledge that you're going to give to the people. Give it all freely and openly. Because someone might have done it for you, someone might not have, but you owe it to the next ones, right? All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in once again. Don't forget, hey, if you're appreciating this, you enjoy it, please hit the little share button arrow and send it to someone else. Right? Post it on your page. Do whatever you want with it. Maybe post it with a comment like, "Yo, fuck this guy." Hey, all publicity is good publicity. All right? And don't forget, for more information on how you can support the podcast, please visit us at anchor.fm/Bravo Zulu Podcast. The information, views, and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely of Joshua Moore and the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the DOD, DON, or those of the respected institutions or organizations. Thanks for joining us.